All right.
All right, so we are back. We still don't have a name yet, but we're just gonna say India and Jayla's podcast for right now until we come up with a name. So tonight we are going to discuss the politics of youth sports, and we've been wanting to do it for a long time. Do this topic. Um, Someone had made a post last week, and they wanted me to comment in it, and I did not because I feel like arguing on social media is not really where I am in my maturity level at this point. So if we want to discuss how we can make change, we have to implement different things, doing things different ways effectively. So with that being said, here we are, JJ. How are you?
Fine.
You're fine. How did the seminar go last night with the
The
mayor, the future mayor?
debate. It
Yes.
was really good, actually. First of all, they was up there like they was kind of I sneak. It was not sneak dissing, but they was being real passive aggressive with each other, and I was just like, uh, okay. But I don't know the lady, and I had to do a 1 page little what's called summary of it. So I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. I mean, it was nice,
Mm-hmm.
but just to witness it. But and then this girl, she sat next to me. She's political science is her major too. And she was like talking to me and asking me if I liked it and all of that. Yeah. She was really nice. I got her Instagram and all of that. I really like
Follow
people.
her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, cool. Link up, link up.
She leads a lot of different stuff too. Like there's this thing called CAU votes, and she does that. She runs that, like getting people around register to vote and just informing them about elections, different stuff. And she does all of that. She's in charge of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who would you vote for if you had to vote today? Who you
Uh,
saw last night?
with Andre Dickens, definitely. I
Oh,
don't really, yeah. I mean, I like the fact that he like grew up in Atlanta, and he like kept on saying that, like, I know the city, like this is my city. Like, I grew up here, I graduated from high school here, I've lived in different parts of the city. So it's just like, yeah, I definitely can. Yeah, you got to have somebody leading you that knows what they're doing. And
yeah.
I just the woman, I don't even remember her name. I don't,
Is it Deborah?
it may be, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. But she was I want to say that she didn't know what she was talking about, but like some stuff, like she would repeat what he would be saying, and I did not like. I was just like, why are you repeating everything that he's saying? Like that don't even make.
Have your own identity and be able to speak on the go, meaning be productive if you want to win this race. But a lot of celebrities were very upset in how she was getting donations and from who she was getting donations from. So that's what caught my attention to what was going on with her. I saw a lot of arguing. So no, her name is Felicia Moore.
Oh.
Why did I call her Deborah? See, there I go. But yeah. All right, so we're gonna kick off this politics of youth sports. So the first question that I have for you is what would you tell your sixth grade self or fifth grade going into sixth grade wanting to make the basketball team?
Um, I would tell myself definitely if I really wanted to do it, and if I was really in it, to put in more work. Because I felt like I don't think that I was behind. That was my like peak point, like where I was really like doing a whole lot, going to Mr. Tim. That's when me and Jasmine like started going to Mr. Tim and stuff. So like we were taking it serious, but I feel like I could have took it a little bit more serious if that's what I really wanted to do. Um, I would definitely tell myself not to like stress a whole lot. I know what happened my sixth grade year. We me, Jada, Jazz made the team. Natanya made the team, but she was a playing manager. I will never forget Miss Tanya. was going completely off because that didn't even make no sense. But yeah, but I didn't really do a whole lot my sixth grade year.
Mhm.
Um, and that ties into my freshman year of high school too, because it was just like, why am I dimming my light for somebody else to take the shine?
Okay,
And
so let's capture that moment of your sixth grade year because it ties into politics of youth sports. Now, at that particular time, I want to say the principal of the school,
his daughter
his
was
daughter was the point guard. And this was our first taste of politics of youth sports, meaning that I remember when y'all went into your championship game, the last game at Central Middle, if I'm not mistaken, and they brought all of the dads out, and not even all of the dads. It was something that we didn't really generally know about. If we knew about it, then we could have told the other dads. But you highlight the dads as if um they are the dads of the year, or I just didn't know the motive. Or if I just didn't know what the devil was going. I still don't know. I still don't understand. But I think you can't have it both ways, meaning that you do for a couple and you don't do for the rest of the team. I don't get that. But go ahead with your story.
but yeah, like you said, the principal's daughter, she was the point guard. So it was kind of like I couldn't do what I really wanted to do my sixth grade year. So it was just like, okay.
Because of what?
Because of the politics, because they literally, I mean, the principal, the teacher, well, our coach, he was me and Jasmine, because we were on gold. Our sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, no, just sixth grade, our science teacher was the coach. So like, basically, of course, the coach is going to do what the principal is saying, especially when he works there and they talk to each other or whatever. So it was just like,
the politics is, if you work in the school district, especially the school, what I have noticed is those kids get more playing time. Or if you're friends with the coach, especially at Postal Week, they're heavy with that. They could be the worst players and they still get playing time. And we're talking about basketball. If you have like 50 turnovers as a point guard, and I mean, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and it's just like they have no basketball skill set at all. And because their family works in the school district, or if their parent does, then it's just like, oh no, we have to give them an award. We have to put them on this pedestal. And it's just like, what is really going on here? But anyway, go ahead.
That was the same thing with Jasmine too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
and I just want to say this because I really like hate stuff like that, because I didn't really see, I didn't really care, because seventh grade and eighth grade, like that was our team. Like we did what we had to do. But when it came to my sister, her eighth grade year, the fact that y'all let these kids that are not good, and you give them all these awards because you're friends with their parents and you doing all of this or whatever, y'all cool. But my sister, she's sitting here doing all the work for y'all, and she doesn't say it. My sister, she won't say nothing. But I really want to, I would even add the people, because I really want to know, like, you really hurt my sister to the point where she doesn't really have confidence in herself. Like she will sit and say, I'm not going to take that shot anymore because
what they did to me, or what they said about me.
I can't do nothing. And literally when she in high school, everybody had to sit down with her and was like, you can't worry about what happened last year because you bring so much to this team. Mm-hmm. And literally, if you look at it, the kids that got the awards the year before, or even the girls that play with me, like they didn't even play in high school. So the purpose, you're giving out these awards
just they weren't even on a team. Like the high school coaches knew they couldn't put those kids on a team because they didn't have any skill set. I mean, it wasn't, I think basketball players can be taught to a certain point, but you got to have something else in you. And
Okay.
I know with Jasmine's situation, I'm going to try to keep my emotions, manage my emotions, because I get very pissed about situations. But yeah, with her situation, I just, I think when I talk to people, they kind of get overwhelmed, or they think, why is her mom saying something? She knows nothing. She's not a coach. Or who do they think they are? I am her mom. I actually played basketball. I actually have good memory that I played against you. So I understand where the issues come into play. Um, so you're holding on to stuff from years ago. And that's the politics of the game. Now, have I addressed everything? Have I gotten the opportunity to address everything? No, I have not. But I will. And the way that that situation was handled was not right. And we as parents have to reprogram our kids when we get coaches that really aren't up to par with their skill set, or if they're all over the place of handling their business. And that's my main issue with the coaches around here is they're all over the place. They can't focus on the things that they need to focus on. Most of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but most of them, yes, it's a good percentage of all they think about is winning. They don't think about building or creating a new opportunity or creating confidence, maintaining confidence. After they play with them after high school, how are they going to function as athletes or adults? They don't even think about that. All they care about is winning, and we pit the kids last. So with that being said, that situation, yes, it was wrong, but I shouldn't say Polytech. Postal Weight has been doing that since you have been there. Tell now, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
So yes, it is frustrating. Yes, you had to speak up for your kids. And if I had a chance to do it again, as I did it for the last 6 years, yeah, I do it every single time for these kids, any kid for that matter, not just my own. If I see something that's not right that's going on, absolutely, I'm going to speak up and say something, because you're putting the kids at a disadvantage, especially the kids that really, really want to play. Like, why tear kids down because you have a situation with their parent, or the parents are not friends with you, or they don't kiss your butt? No, it should not work like that. It's certain privileges that are going on that should never happen. Like, if you want your kids to be successful in a sport, then take them to somebody that you don't know.
But I don't even think that it shouldn't even be about wanting for your kids anyway. It should be what your kids want.
Mm-hmm.
Because we see a whole lot of parents that want for their kids and that are putting in so much for their kids, and you doing all this, you trying to just maneuver in, I wouldn't even say a sneaky way, but it's kind of like that, because it's just like you're trying to force this onto your kids, but they may not even want it at the end of the day. I mean, look at me. I never had that experience. First of all,
yes,
I
please say that. Please say that.
I
I'm
wanted
not even going to persuade you to say what you're going to say. Please tell the truth.
I was the one. First of all, my second, third grade year, because my mom had her camps. I was like, I want to play. Like, let me play. So I went to the camp, and I was like, yeah, this is for me. And everybody was like, all the girls was like, oh my gosh, that's Coach Scott's granddaughter. Yeah, girl, that's me. But definitely, then when I got into Holy Cross and all that, that was like where I wanted to be. So I was consistent with it. Going forward, like, I really did want to play. Like, it was not forced. Whenever I was like caught an attitude or whatever, everybody was like, well, if you don't want to play, you don't got to play. Like, and that was that. And I was just like, it's not that I don't want to play. Nobody said that. Mm-hmm. But I was never forced to play, and nobody had no connections or nothing. First of all, even with my mom in the positions that she was in, like, she would always, it was never easy for me at all. Like, she always made it hard for me. It was never like I was always the one that had hard. Like, like I said, I could do something so good. She would not say nothing. Like it would just be like, whatever, girl, do it again. Like, but and she would criticize me real hard all the time. But nobody else really had that. Like she wouldn't say that to nobody else when it came to me. Yeah, I got it. I got it all. And even my friend the other, when I told him like, yeah, I used to play basketball or whatever, and my grandmother used to coach, she was like, did you ever like have it easy, or did you have like any passes or anything? Like
No,
you would think that people like would make their kids have it easier, make their grandkids have it easy.
that does
No.
not happen over here at all. Not in our household. It's a lot of critics from
Mhm.
top to bottom. And when Jazz got in the car earlier, she said, "Mommy, I feel like that they don't care because when I get hurt, I gotta keep moving. They don't stop the practice for me, but when somebody else gets hurt,
The
they
whole
gotta stop the practice, and they gotta go and help them up and all that stuff. And it's just like they don't care. They want me to keep moving, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it is what it is, but it teaches you. It teaches you how to have work ethic. Like
mhm.
you can't quit all of the time. Like you're not gonna never have anything handed to you over here. I can't say that, but firsthand of going through lacrosse and basketball and watching other sports that it's a lot of privilege out here.
Yeah. When I played lacrosse my freshman year of high school, because Coach Rich, love her. Shout out to her. Oh my gosh, that's my girl. I really, really love her. She always like when we first came in, like she like literally took us under her wing.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like, and she always said, you're so athletic, like you can play whatever you want to play.
Mhm.
Like you just got that instinct in you. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go out for the cross. I'm gonna just try it out.
Yeah.
And I never played no JV in my life, but lacrosse I played JV. So that was already a turn on to me because I was like, who is playing JV?
Mhm.
I was just like, I never played before, so it's cool. But with that, it doesn't even matter. I don't feel like it matters with the sport. Like in Delaware, like it's always gonna be some type of politics or some type of privilege going on. Like, and
How did you feel about being like basically one of 15, um, probably or two of 15 blacks in lacrosse?
it was so I wouldn't even say that it was weird because that's how school was all my life. But at the same time, like I feel like the black kids have to like I don't know how to say it, but you have to like
You had to filter yourself or you had to adjust.
adjust. Yes. I mean, but me, I'm the type of person I really don't care. You're gonna accept me how I am. Um, so if I'm ghetto to you or but I'm not even like that. But to them, they may think that I'm like that. But if I'm like that, that's how I am. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna change myself for anybody. And they will tell you firsthand, y'all can come over here and talk to me if y'all want. If y'all don't want to, stay over on your side. I really don't really care at all.
Mhm.
So with them, they talk to me sometimes. They were kind of, I want to say that all the girls were weird, but most of them real weird. Um, I even had a friend, she played on varsity, but mm, we not friends no more. But um, even with that, like people just be real weird.
Mhm.
So I don't really I never tried to conform to anybody. I didn't really care to. I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna go out here and play. What I get, most improved player.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was nice that people noticed me, and shout out to Mackie too because he helped coach us too.
Yeah.
Like they really definitely looked at me as okay, we're gonna help her out, and just if she wants to play, we're gonna make her play. And
Yeah.
I did playing time. They
Yeah. mean, you were out there with that stick, that $100 stick that didn't get used the next 3 years. But I mean, here we are. Wasting money. And again, another key gem for politics and sports. Make sure that it is what your kids want to do for all 4 years before you start investing
Even
in
all
these
4 years,
sports.
all 10 years.
Huh?
Not even all 4 years, like all 10 years.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean, I think, to be honest, I think you have to start kids off early if you want them to really, really get in the sport and form a love for the sport. And I think because you started early and we did not force it for you, you just genuinely created that love for basketball, and we didn't have to really guide you. You learn yourself. Even with your experience with tearing your ACL, it was just like, okay, it's creating a strong love for basketball and a strong love for myself to know, okay, I can do this. And I thought it was really good for you, for all of us. It was a humbling experience.
I was just talking about it the other week because the girl next door, she was like, we was just out there talking. I was just like, yeah, I tore my ACL or whatever. And she was like, doing what? I said, I play basketball. So she was like, oh, she said, you look like a basketball player. And I was just like, yeah. But with that whole thing, tearing my ACL, it was just a whole process, I would say. I mean, first of all, that sophomore season, I just knew like I came out like real hard. Like it was crazy. Never had been doing stuff like that before.
Mhm.
Even when that first time that we went into the gym during that summer, and I was just doing different things, making different moves, moving quicker. I was like, who is this?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was finishing at that. It was just crazy. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
this is going to be my season. So we go throughout all December. I'm like, okay, we building, we doing what we got to do. And that was the time we had Yaya, we had Courtney, we had me, Jazz, Claire, Diamond,
Mhm.
everybody. We had the team, we had the height, we had the everything, the speed, everything. Like you could not, I swear, if I did not get hurt, we would have done some good things. But of course, I get injured.
Mhm.
So that whole when I went down, I was like, "Ah, you got to be kidding me."
I know.
Like, and it was just crazy. I was just like,
Parents, you always know a ACL injury when you hear the yell, or fans, I should say. It's just a different yell, and I just didn't even know
to the top of
what
my
to
lungs,
do.
crazy. And here my mom talking about you cannot be yelling like I'm like, girl, it hurts. Then she made me sit on that bench until the game was over. And I was just like, why am I sitting here? Me just going crazy. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh.
Listen,
So
I'll never forget that too, because your coach said, "What, Jay?
he said,
Is her knee supposed to be throbbing like that?" I don't think a knee is supposed to be throbbing. No, it's not. But I'm gonna
and
need you to get away from here.
he's gonna put me right back in
Oh yeah, he had. Mhm.
that game. First of all, with that game, we could have beat St. Thomas more because I was going crazy at first and I got hurt first quarter. Like that was just crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like come on. So go to the emergency room, whatever. So after that, a week had passed. I was fine. I could walk again. I was like, you know what? I may be good. Like
We
I'm about to be
did think you were good, Jay, and it would have been spectacular if you would have been good, but you were not.
fine. Courtney's dad was praying over my leg. I will never forget that. Like that, everybody was stressed.
Mhm.
He said, we need her back. Like, this is crazy. So I'm like, I mean, I want to get back because this is ridiculous. What is going on? So, of course, a few weeks later, go back to the doctor. He's like, you tore your ACL, you need surgery. So I'm like, I cried because that is not what you want to hear. And I wasn't thinking that it was the worst thing. Like the worst thing is tearing your ACL. Like that's an ending career. That's a like ending injury. Like that was supposed to, and everybody was saying, you're not gonna be back to what you were, or you may not even play again. And I'm like, who is not playing again? Like, this is all that matters to me. Like, I don't want to do anything else. And at that point, I was like, I really don't want to do anything. Like, where else would I be without basketball? So I went throughout that whole process, month after month. I'm like, first of all, I got frustrated because I went to physical therapy, and my physical therapist Josh, he said, you know what, you can, like, I think it was at 6 months, he was like, you can work on your own and like do different stuff on your own. But for them first 3 months, I thought that I could be running again. And he was like, no, you can't run again. Like, you need to just take it slow. And I'm like, I was so frustrated because it's just like, I need to be moving. Like, the season is about to come. I'm going to be playing. We're not doing this. So with me, I just started working. Like, when that 6 month came, he was like, okay, we're on the right path. Like, I was going to therapy. I was doing what I needed to do. Going into the gym, dribbling the ball. Even when I can't run, I'm still dribbling the ball. I even had attitudes when I was going to the gym because it was just like, I can't do anything. I cannot. And I'm sitting here watching everybody else, and everybody else is just living the life, playing. Like, even when they went to camps over the summer.
Oh, you were hot with me.
I didn't go because it was just like, what's the point? Like, I don't know if I was depressed, but I was really like upset. Like,
you definitely were. Remember, we went down to A&T and you were just so over it. Like, we took everybody with us.
A&T was my dream school. So it was just like, I can't even show them what I need to do. Like I can't do anything. I'm sitting here with this brace on looking crazy. Like, ugh.
Coach coming up to you, asking you where your sneakers at. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. You were so mad.
Then I'm sitting here, that summer we was going to parties. I'm going to parties with my brace on. Like, people ask me, what happened to your knee? Mind your business. Leave me alone. But yeah, by that, I think I got cleared at 8 months. I was pushing so hard. I was like, I got to be done by the first week in December because we were playing and our first game was Kate. So I was like, I need to be back. So I sure did get cleared that 8 month. It was like maybe a week before.
It was.
And I got to play in the scrimmage against Lake. And I played a little bit. Kyle put me in. I didn't start, but Kyle put me in. Like,
your feelings about that too.
I really was, and Jasmine and Yaya was too, because they were going in on him in the back. They was like, why is she not starting? Like, we need Jayla. Who was starting over Jayla? They were hot. I was like, I wasn't even that mad at first, but I was like, okay, like it was going.
They did ride for you, Jay. Those girls were very supportive. Your friends were very supportive of everything that you went through.
Most definitely, all the time. Even when I went into surgery, like, everybody was just like, Monty was crying. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, Jayla's going to surgery. Everybody was just definitely there for me. I definitely appreciate my friends. Shout out to the gang. Yeah. But yeah, I was back and I came back for that Cape game. And I was nervous. Everybody was there. It was like, first of all, every time when we played that Cape game, like, everything was filled. Seats was filled. I'm like, why is everybody here? Don't nobody ever come to know?
Because they knew what it was. They knew what we was coming with. They always know. Let's not downplay it. Like, this is the politics of sports. They knew what we was coming with, and they knew, their coach knew the potential that you had, meaning you could change. You were a game changer, for real.
So I didn't start that game either, and I was mad. Like, I'm not.
But when
Why?
they put you in,
But when they put me in, like you said, game changer. And that literally, first of all, we was down like what, 20 points, something like that. As soon
yeah,
as I came in, score was just running up. First of all, came in, girl fouled me, went to the foul line, knocked down both of them. Boom.
but it was intentional. Let's talk about that.
Oh, very much intentional
Very
because
much intentional.
that season, everybody was just coming after me. I'm talking about just coming after me, landing on top of me crazy, like just trying to get me re-injured, like real crazy, just all on me, trying to defend me crazy. And I'm just like, come at me if you want, please do it. Like, I just, that I had so much confidence in myself. Like, y'all are not gonna stop me.
Yeah.
Y'all tried to stop me so bad last year. Now let me show you that y'all couldn't stop me. And like I said, everybody was basically like, you're not gonna come back as strong as you were. But I just, that year, that was the best year because I definitely came back. Even with my knee lagging and stuff, like I was still like doing what I needed to do. And then with that Cape game, that will forever be a legendary game because just off the simple fact that pass that I hit to Yaya, that's just a legendary pass, period. You don't see that nowhere. Nobody's doing that. Nobody did that before. I ain't seen nothing like that. Literally. And literally
Mimic it, but no, it's great.
if I'm not the first, the best assister, like, I don't know who is. Like, I really did that. Like, my assists, they was crazy. Sometimes I gotta go back and watch it because I was really doing it. Like,
It's
and
very interesting to watch the tape.
yeah. So that whole season went, I got what? Honorable mention. And then maybe some other stuff. I really don't remember. And I was just like, that was literally the best year. Sophomore or junior year was literally the best year.
Yeah.
But
let's jump into senior year.
Senior year, I was ready because it was just like, first of all, we didn't even know if we were really gonna play because of COVID. And then when they said, okay, y'all are gonna play, y'all are gonna start in January, it was like, okay, cool. Season starts, December come, we practicing, we doing whatever. And it was definitely different because we didn't have Yaya, which was our fast piece. Like, she was going all the time. So it's just like, okay, we're gonna have to find something. And we definitely had the pieces. The team was just real young. Like my little sister, then you got the other girls, junior or sophomore, they're juniors now, but they were sophomores. So it was just definitely pieces that we had, but it was just like, how are we gonna piece it together? And then it's just and not even trying to like be like mean, but the younger generations, they just don't take basketball as serious as we do, like, or as we did.
They're
Like,
not committed as what y'all are or what you were.
not at all. And it's just like, I don't know if they're playing for their parents or if it's just like they're just playing for fun, but basketball was really like serious to me. So it was just like, I don't like when people are playing. And I've been that way. Like, I even remember my 8th grade year, like, I cried. I got in the car and started crying because everybody was playing. Like, we don't have time for this. We trying to do what we need to do.
Oh, well, let's go back to that too. But go ahead with your story.
But yeah, so senior year came. I'm still like, with my ACL, I always had to go into the room for I went back to physical therapy.
Yep.
Because it was a mess. It came, we were all right. We had an all right record. When we same spot in the playoffs, but it was just like, it wasn't it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And still looking back at it, it was just like, that was my senior year. Like, that's all that
came from it, that you got from it.
yeah. And I was just like, this is a little crazy. And even I feel like that I wasn't my best, but I still did better. I scored way more in my senior season and my junior than any other season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got my career high in my senior season.
Yeah.
So I was expecting, something from, and I even got an award the year before. So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna get something from the state or from the conference or something.
Mm-hmm.
So March hits, playoffs ends, whatever. The list comes out of who's made the conference and state and all that, and the blue and gold team. So I'm like, and even the blue and gold team, because if you're from Delaware and you play basketball, the blue and gold team is literally it. If you're a senior, like, you should be on the blue and gold team, blue and gold game. Like, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, like, there were people that played in the blue and gold game that should have had the blue and gold game. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna at least get that.
Yeah.
So the list comes out. First of all, I woke up at like 2:00 in the morning that day for whatever reason. So I seen it and I was just like, so my name's not on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's so weird. And everybody's posting, the day goes on, everybody's posting, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got this and I got that. And I'm just like, so I didn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
So with that whole, I cried and cried and cried the whole day. Like, we went out to dinner and I was still crying, like, because it was just like the state that I grew up in, that I played in, everybody basically is like, I mean, you can't say that I wasn't at least a conference name. Like, you had to know me. And if you didn't know my name, everybody always addressed me, the little short girl that plays on Polly with the braids.
Yeah.
That's how everybody knew me. So I wasn't like that my name wasn't out there or nothing. But my state definitely let me down.
Mm-hmm.
So at that moment, I was just like, I remember I deleted my basketball Instagram page. I deleted everything. I don't even have anything basketball in my camera roll anymore. Like, I lost all confidence in myself. Literally did. So that's when I started, and literally during that time, from that point to graduation, like, emotions were just up and down. And then at that point, I was just focused on getting money. That was just my thing. I went to work. I was just going to work and just making my money. That's all that I was doing. Basketball was just out of the picture at that point. I was just like, I'm over it. Like, and everybody was like, you're not going to college for basketball. I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I lost all confidence in myself. Like, I felt like that I wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
People made me feel like that I couldn't even get honorable mention after I got it the year before. And I didn't even get put on the blue and gold game, yet people that literally are not good were on that blue and gold game. They didn't even play the blue and gold game, but it's just the principle behind it. Like, I wasn't enough. And even the Tanya at the same time. And I just feel like everybody just like, they basically failed us. Like, y'all don't even care enough, don't even have the heart to say, you know what, these girls have been playing for forever. Y'all know us. It's not like y'all don't know us, because y'all do.
Yeah.
And literally, y'all don't give us nothing, or y'all don't give us any acknowledgement or nothing. And when I say I was just over it, like, I was over it. And I was just like,
but that, I think that was built up over it, meaning through the years there have been a plenty of situations that have happened to a lot of kids where they didn't get their just due, meaning what they deserved. And I felt like with that situation, with the blue and gold situation, if you were not going to pick a girl from each team, nobody should have had twos or threes. That that just was not right to me. You
It
pick
wasn't
one.
them, but it was the coaches, and that's a whole nother thing because coaches need to be informed. Y'all
Coaches
just
be
well,
informed.
can't nobody can just be a coach. Let's just say that. Y'all just can't come out here. If you've never played basketball a day in your life, you cannot coach basketball. If you haven't been around basketball all of your life, that's a problem. First of all, I can say I've been coaching since I was 16. So I know. And even with this little gap, I'm like, and I just told my mom this like last week because I'm like, if you know, and everybody's been telling me, Jayla, you haven't been looking like yourself and you just haven't been yourself. And I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, that's all that I was saying. Like, I really don't know. And I'm just like, I'm looking and I start just looking on YouTube or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Basketball is not in my life anymore. I gave up on it because I allowed for people that literally are no further than me in life. They just sit and determine who does what and who's good at what. Y'all are really not nobody, but I allowed nobodies to determine my self-worth. And I'm just like, why am I allowing somebody else to tell me who I am or tell me what I can do? Because if we really look back, I was a good player, a real good player. Like there were people, if I didn't, like I said, if I did not tear my ACL, nobody would have been able to stop me because I was quick before.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. But even with my ACL, I still got to be able to maneuver around real nice and be a strategist. But it was just the fact that I just needed to work a little bit harder. But I chose the academic path over.
And there's nothing wrong with that, Jay.
Come on with that. But I just feel like if you want basketball to be in your life, and that's what I'm trying to figure out with myself right now, because maybe playing wasn't my calling. Maybe coaching is my calling. Like maybe I need to, even if I go back home or I stay here or go anywhere else, I need to allow people to know or allow these girls to know, like, you can't allow anybody else to determine who you are or what you can do.
Yeah.
Like, and I was so hurt. Like,
but
and
it's nothing that you could control. Yes. And I want to talk about that too. Other people controlling the narrative, whether it's the parents paying people, whether it's the parents having connections within the school district, whether they have connections within DIAA, whether it's all sorts of things that go on here that people, if you're friends with people, it's like it's a taboo. Don't talk about it. Or oh, we're gonna whisper about it. Because it's a plenty of talk that happened over the last course of year, to be honest, about people and scholarships and how did they get that and how did that happen? And the coach never saw them play, or this or that. And it's just like it was a plenty of people sitting back talking about everything with the class of 2021. A lot of talk, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. It was a lot of talk between all types of people. And I feel like that, let me just say this. I've always said it and I will continue to say it. Jasmine Kellum was the number one player in the state. To be heard, to be honest. No one could ever take that away from her. She had the stats, she had the height, she could go coast to coast with anybody and everybody. She had the energy, and she didn't get her just due. Point blank, period.
And let's just talk about it, because Jasmine really checked out sophomore year. Like, she was just like, I really don't want to play basketball. Like, she was really like,
but she was burned out.
And she told me, like, the only reason that I'm playing is because of you. Yeah. Like, and I remember the end of our junior year, because I was sitting here saying, because Yaya was leaving, and I'm just like, and Jasmine was talking about I'm not playing. So I'm like, well, I'm not finna stay here if y'all are not playing. Like, no, I'm not about to be stuck. So I was just like, I may go to Lake, I may go somewhere else. That was in the talks. And First of all, I didn't even tell Jasmine. So I don't even know how she found out, but somehow she did. So that last game that we played, her and Miss Fran was like, so are you gonna go to lake? And I'm like, well, if you're gonna stay,
Yeah.
I won't. But if you don't stay, then I'm leaving. So she was like, girl, I'm gonna play like, but
I'm glad y'all did get a chance to play. Because it was very monumental for us as parents to sit and watch y'all grow from little ones. Because when y'all started playing at Holy Cross, y'all were not on the same team.
We weren't. And I will always say this. First of all, Jasmine, Latanya, and Jada hated me so much for whatever reason. I don't even know why they didn't like me, but they did not like me. No, they just really like did not like me. And I'm like, why don't they like me? Like, what is wrong with y'all? So then fifth grade year comes, and of course I have to move to Star Hill. And Jasmine and Latanya are at Star Hill, and I'm like, oh my god, like
hold on. Remember when Latanya used to wear them I love hater socks?
Yes. Oh my gosh. First of all,
why does this little girl have that stuff
on? Yes. So I moved up to Star Hill, and of course Jasmine and Latanya are there. So Latanya broke the ice. And shout out to my sis, because if sis didn't come up to me on the playground, like we would never be friends. But Natanya was the first one to me on the playground. It was just, she would just talk to me. So like, we're cool. But Jasmine still don't like me. Like, I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? So we go, I'll never forget this. And this is when we became friends. And she swear it's sixth grade, but it was fifth grade when we went to Biztown, because I was the CEO and Jasmine was like, she was something. She was like my partner or something. Something. So we went there and we were just talking and stuff. And that's when we really became friends. And then of course, sixth grade year came and we were in Miss Bowles' class together, social studies, and she comes and sits right next to me. So I'm like, okay, girl, like we cool. So that's when we really started becoming friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's and I really I love that basketball allowed me to create my relationships, because without it, like I would not have my crew. Like that, me and Jasmine have been friends since fifth, sixth grade. Like,
yeah,
that's my best friend. Like, and without basketball, definitely that wouldn't have happened, because that girl hated me.
And then somebody got the bright idea to do AAU.
Yes.
And we started Magic, and it started off, huh?
Shout out to all the girls that play Magic.
Shout out to all the girls that started with Magic and went through with the program for those years, because in all honesty, it was enjoyable to a certain point. Up until that very last year where all hell broke loose. But it was a learning experience for these kids, for these girls, to create a sisterhood and with basketball, to travel with basketball and get to learn one another. And it was good, and it was a good run. And I love seeing all of the Magic girls that will speak to me, and all that good stuff. Because when people get older, they like, oh, I don't want to speak. I think they're weird or this or that. No, you're weird.
Like, I really want to know, like, what be wrong with y'all? Like, but if you don't speak on me, like I said, I know all my people now. I know all my cousins, all my friends, like all my family. When I get there and start making some money and real big, I don't know you like you didn't know me.
Exactly, Jay. Exactly.
Don't come up to me, hey girl, hey cuz. No, don't know.
No, not at all. It's a lesson to be learned.
Of Magic. That was definitely us traveling, and us like it was real good for us. And definitely with us, when we went throughout middle school, us first of all, if we just stayed together,
Take
like
over 4.
together, it would have been just real, like legendary. Like me, Jada, Jasmine, and Tanya, like we were it.
Mm-hmm.
That's that when we took over 7th grade and 8th grade, and then 8th grade when we got a new coach. And the talks was because I know most of y'all know Coach Victory, retired CR, high school basketball coach. He hauled off and said when we had trials our 8th grade year, and we just knew, and this is where Takeover 4 came from. That's where our name came from, because he just knew that he was going to stop us from playing, because the talks was that we were not going to CR.
And why were you not going to CR? Why did y'all choose? Why did the 3 not choose to go to CR?
Well, politics for one, and two, nobody was playing on JV. We knew our potential. Our 8th grade year, we were just I think we were even undefeated. We were undefeated our 8th grade year. We only lost that Capital Classics game.
I had paperwork.
Oh, Lord, that game, Jesus.
But with that being said, a different avenue of politics. CR is very strong about keeping their key people in their school district. So it is a known policy. If you go against the grain, then that they will do any and everything to stop you. And to stop you, if you transfer to another school, there are different things that have been done that's known, but ignored because of these people have been doing it for so long that nobody is like, they think it's okay. So when that happened again, let me take my tone down. That happened, and I got a hold of it, and I want to say I got an email that said it. I'm gonna look back at my emails that said that you would not be on the team, and he sent it to me. He sent it to me, and listen, at my job, I'm on the floor. So, when I got that email, and I had to make the phone call because, like, okay, so I got on the phone with him and I said, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all, excuse me, because I'm about to act a fool, a pure fool. And I went out in the lobby. Who do you think you are to stop 8th graders from not being on the middle school team because you're in your feelings that they can't play on a high school level to varsity? You feel like that they are not good enough to play. And then you go about it that way. And I emailed the principals and the superintendent and all of that. You should have been out of there, because the stuff that you're doing is not okay. Middle school has nothing to do with you. If they want to go elsewhere to, what did he used to call it? What?
Oh my God. Was it Woodside?
No, it wasn't Woodside. It was, he had a nickname for it. It was
something.
Oh my gosh. And even with that, you say that in practice to these kids, oh, you want to go over to, I'm sure it wasn't Wood Black. It was something crazy. But you telling these kids in summer program, oh, you can't, you don't need to go over there, they're not going to teach you anything. But you're also, again, if everybody's working together, hold on, Jeff, if everybody's working together here in this area, which the BS is total BS, that gets me off, if everybody's working together, why are you talking about another program? If you respect that coach over at that other program, you're not going to talk about that other program. So this is where the problem originates from, because everybody's not on the same page and everybody doesn't want to see each other do well. It's one thing if you are in a common career path, but it's another thing where you think you're on a pedestal and you're really not, because as far as I know, you haven't won a state championship. So let's be honest. What are you really doing to do anything for the kids? Or is it about winning to make your ego feel good? But anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, that happened. And that's where our name came from, because we didn't even we really didn't even know where we were going to high school. Me and Jasmine and Natalia, we had toured Poly.
Mm-hmm.
That
But Natanya was going because her brother went there. She already had a relationship with Polytech. And as far as I know, Jasmine was going because her dad worked there, right?
So then I was just like, I didn't want to go to CR. And Poly, they had already been building. We, like I said, Diamond and Courtney were already there. And they had a couple more players. Yaya was already there. So it was just like, we can do something. Y'all just need the pieces. So when we were like, well, maybe we can go to Poly. And I didn't even know where Jada was going at first. Jada went to CR first, that first year, didn't she? We ended up going. But at first, everybody was just like, we're not going over there. So that's
crazy.
That's where our name came from. Take over. And we took over because it was just like, you're not gonna stop us from playing and doing what we need to do. And we for sure went that regular season undefeated. Then we get to our final game and our coach does not show up.
And Jay, speak on that.
So everybody's just like, what is going on? Like, why is she not here? So that already threw us for a loop. And looking back, I'm just like, well, that probably has something to do with him too, because why are you not here? This is your team's final game. And she's on the phone with the assistant coach and she's like, hey, I'm on my way, da, 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 da. Never showed up. So we get there and it was just a mess. Like I felt like I had a good game.
I think that was the entry to the path going forward. I think that was the entry to parents controlling a narrative.
And I'm gonna be totally real, because if you knew me and Jada, like I was the one that always went back and forth with her, and I did not care. That's my girl and all, but I really did not care. We went back and forth in that final game when that buzzer rang, and I can't, because didn't we go into double overtime? So when we first went into overtime, we thought that the game was over because the girl, not the girl, Shakai, she scored like it was basically a buzzer beater, but they didn't count it. Yeah. So they start crying and all this. I'm like, this is your fault. Like, and I'm yelling at her because I'm mad, because it's just like, are y'all serious? I said, you should have been crying now. I remember I laid them out. I was just like, man. So we going to overtime, lost. And that game was such a back and forth game. Like, it was so intense.
I think that's one of the best games that I have been to from middle school, college. I've never been in a gym. I had never been in a gym so packed. Like, it was crazy. And then when they came out, I would never forget that. I know. The lights off. What they do, Jay?
They cut them lights off. Came out. I think they had smoke too. I'm like, okay. So we looking at each other. We like, no, they did not.
But I think that was wrong too, because if you're gonna host something like that, you can't control the narrative like that. I don't think, like, it puts us at a disadvantage.
They said, okay. I was like, okay, y'all, like,
do what you do.
Like, me and two, we never spoke before that. Like,
but I don't think y'all know each other like that. But y'all didn't, because I want to say Marcy.
Cousin Marcy said that she was talking about it. I didn't know that too was my cousin.
Yeah, so we didn't. I mean, I hadn't seen her since she was a small girl. But when they said that we had some cousins down there, I was like, well, whose kids are they and all that, So, I got to do my little research, family research, and see what's what. And, it is true. But looking back at y'all too, like leading point guards, like, it's really unheard of that from the same family, kids are girls anyway, and girls basketball, especially around here, are rivals.
First of all, me and two best point guards and if not the just the state, the conference, or the Henlopen conference. We two did what she needed to do. She definitely did. I can't even take that from her. She led her team.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody else want to do nothing, or she took them on her back, and
Yeah.
I did what I had to do with what I had.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, some people didn't show up that 8th grade game. They were there, but they didn't show up on that court. So, and I think that was the entry level to where we are now. That's just the honest truth. You can't give kids and keep giving kids and keep giving kids because they never learn how to have true work ethic. It's very important to set the tone now when they're young so that they know they gotta work hard for everything. No different than anybody else that was in the Henlopen conference that thought that they were, good players. You gotta be humble and stay humble.
So yeah, so that happened 8th grade year. So that's when I knew I was going to Poly after that, and I didn't get accepted into Poly until
I didn't want you to go to Poly.
I didn't get accepted into Poly until the last minute, and my friends were like, I remember because my mom registered me for Smyrna, and I look at
did because we didn't have any family that came out of Smyrna, not yet, from my grandmother. My grandmother was the superintendent of Smyrna. I thought it would be a great idea to have someone other than my aunt, my uncle, and my dad come out of Smyrna. No grandkids have went there and still haven't. So, I mean, I was trying to fulfill a legacy and it just didn't work out that way. She had her own plans.
Polytech alumna. But yeah, so she got registered me, and then a week later, I got accepted into Poly. Somebody pulled some strings. I don't know what they did, but somebody definitely pulled some strings.
I heard some stories, but yeah.
I never heard those stories.
I heard some stories.
But somebody pulled some strings, and I got into Poly the week before school. So of course, I'm sitting here going back and forth because I'm like, well, I just got registered at Smyrna, and I had told my friends like Natalia and Jasmine, because they were going to Poly, they had already got accepted. Yeah. So I texted them. I was like, I don't really know what to do. Should I come? Should I like Smyrna? And it was like, girl, you just need to come to Poly.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, let me just go and see.
Let me just say this. Me and Polytech did not get along from 2002. Okay, this history. I wear red today, but you don't see Poly on this.
Right. First of all, Lakeland is so deep. Like y'all love y'all some Lake.
Hey, it is what it is.
Everybody that literally, Mom Stephanie, you. First of all, y'all whole tribe went to Lake. I can't even say just y'all, because everybody literally went to Lake. My cousins, like,
you don't go against the grain. You don't.
Well,
fit it in us, but even still, I'm glad that y'all went against the grain and y'all chose your own path. Even Jazz, I think, she was resistant at first. She was just like, well, if I go over there to CR, I don't know if it's gonna work out. And I would say, don't even waste your time. But
literally, and I didn't even, with going to Poly, I definitely wanted to get away from the CR people. Like, it was just too much. And when we went, you could really tell, like, when I saw like CR or people that I was friends with CR, like they'll still speak, but it was just like, you go to CR, I go to Poly. Like,
it's a thin line. It's a thin line of hate that is created among Dover and CR, Polytech and Dover, Polytech and CR. Like, they feel like, what did Victory call Polytech? It's gonna drive me crazy. What did he call it? It wasn't Polywhack. It was something like that. It was something crazy. But anyway, I think that because it's taught behavior or a taught personality to if they go against the grain, we need to hate them. I mean, you can see it right now. And I wanted to talk about Maya's experience too a couple of months ago with field hockey. And we went over to Dover, and it was my first experience in that in a field hockey situation, meaning that yeah, I noticed it in basketball, yes, but field hockey on the other hand, this is new to me. So we went over to Dover, and she was having a game, and of course it's a lot of cursing going on the field among the Dover players. It's a lot of risky activity, possibly intentionally placing harm to other players that should have been addressed, but it wasn't. And I feel like sometimes, if they're star players, then they get away with a lot more. So with that being said, when I arrived, it was a specific parent that was yelling the entire JV game, because y'all know I like to arrive early. I need to scan the area and see the people. So I'm waiting, and I'm listening to this parent yell, I mean, to the top of his lungs. And I'm just like, it's a JV game, chill. Like, you're doing a bit much. So of course varsity starts, and they start playing. So a Caucasian girl or Korean girl, she gets hurt. They stop the game. They have to stop the game because they have to tend to her. So when a play happened, and I don't know if Maya got hit with a stick or what. Anyway, she fell, and they did not stop this game. And Maya,
wait, I didn't hear this.
yeah. I don't think I have it on tape, but I have some of it on tape, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, Maya, you know about pieces of the story. But anyway, Maya fell, and they didn't stop that game. And ended up, they were getting ready to score, I want to say, or they had scored. And that's when they finally stopped the game. And she was walking off the field. So, of course, my beloved sister yelling, saying that her daughter is hurt and y'all did not stop this game. So then the ref goes over, one of the refs goes over to Maya walking off the field with the trainer. Maya's talking to the trainer. The ref goes and asks her, is that your mom over there? Because if it's your mom, you need to go and tell her to leave. So then the ref goes, what?
Be the rest for me, but I'm gonna let you finish so I can go off about that.
The ref goes over to the coach for Polytech and tells her that she needs to get her fans together, and if she doesn't go over there, come over to us and tell Nikki that she has to leave, then they're going to cut the whole game, and Dover, well, Polytech will have to forfeit, and Dover would win the game. So here comes the coach. Y'all have to calm down. Please don't say nothing because we don't want to forfeit. First of all, you need to have a backbone with these refs. If we're gonna have to forfeit this game because they're mistreating these kids, and it's clear that it was because Maya was Black. Let's just make that very clear, because you didn't have no problem stopping the game for those other people when they dropped. And Maya has seizures. So like, come on now. So, and you say to her, I've seen her, you say, the rest says to Maya, I've seen that woman and she looks just like you at previous games. So you're already thinking, oh, I'm gonna get her out of here anyway, because I don't want to see her or hear her. Who are you? So then she comes over and she says, the ref comes over to us, back over across the field, and she says, Nikki has to leave. Of course, my beloved sister, I love her to death. She cusses her clearly out.
One thing about it, she not going nowhere, especially when somebody tell her to. She ain't going nowhere. I don't even know why they tried to do that.
and I get partly, yes, but with that being said, like, you didn't say nothing the previous game to him. He yelled the entire game from Dover. It was a Dover fan, a Dover parent. You didn't say nothing to him. You ref that game.
Yeah.
So now it's a problem for Polly and their fans. And because we're Black, now you want to act like Black people are ignorant, they're always yelling, dot, 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 dot. But when they do it, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And then you want to kick us out, but you didn't kick him out because he yelled for a good hour or more constantly. He should have been on the speaker because he was that loud. So I get where the politics are going on right here between the sports, and who is going to properly address it. Like the athletic directors have to speak up. And if you don't want to ref, don't ref. If you feel threatened, don't come out at all. It's enough unemployed people out here that would take jobs.
First of all, it just be, and it's of course field hockey, but basketball too. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't care, because first of all, the refs hated Polly. Everybody
they did.
Especially that one that looked like Monty's dad. He's got a bald head. He's a doctor somewhere. I think he's a dentist, but yeah, I can't see
an optometrist, Jay.
That's the one that made me take out my nose ring. How do you even see a nose ring through the mask? But whatever. But it just be the rest and their audacity for me. I don't understand. First of all, you are reffing girls' games. And that's definitely a double standard too, because the stuff that they allow for the boys to do, first of all, boys be rolling their shorts up to their behinds, but once we do it, it's a problem. Like, or they can sit and say something. And I remember, I think it was like, it may have been Sussex Tech or something. And I remember Yaya, she was like, she scored an and-1 and she was hyped. Yes. And they gonna give her a tech. But if a boy were to do it, then y'all gonna let them do it.
Y'all were at Sussex Tech.
No, we were home.
You were home?
Yeah.
But that particular ref gave her that tech, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what are you doing all that for? But I just feel like the refs, y'all need to let the kids play. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this too, because that Cape game that we had, that last Cape game that we had last year, we were literally in with Cape. And if you really know basketball, Cape is supposed to be the best. They the top. They got foreign girls. They supposed to be doing it. They supposed to be the best of the best. But somehow, some way, Polytech was sitting there going toe to toe with them. We weren't even down less than 5, I don't think, at halftime. We were going hard. Mm-hmm. So we come back out after halftime, refs start calling dumb stuff. And I'm just like, politics, most definitely, because y'all want to be looked at as this perfect team or whatever, this perfect whatever. But
school district,
y'all gotta sway refs and do this and do that just to win, or even the refs, period. Like, even if you feel like the parents are doing too much or saying different stuff, you shouldn't even be worried about that. You should be focused on the game, focused on watching these kids play, instead of worrying about who's in the stands and who doesn't like you or who whatever. Because truth be told, don't nobody like you. I could really tell you about yourself on this floor, but I don't want to get put out and ejected. I don't have time for that. I want to play. But I just hate when refs do too much. Like, I don't understand why y'all cannot just let the kids play.
They like, I even noticed that up at the field house this last 2 months.
Oh,
they're horrible up there.
Up north, period.
It is true. Up north, period. You're not. And let's discuss this too. Let's make it very clear.
Politics right here. If y'all really want to get into it, this would be my thing.
Let's make it very clear for anybody below the canal. Meaning, when you hit that bridge to cross over into by the ports and all that stuff, you're not gonna get no calls.
You're not gonna get
anybody. None of us. Anybody in Kent County and Sussex County, if you go to play up north, you're not gonna get any calls at all. So don't even argue.
They do not. And I really have to speak on this, because that really gets me, because anytime I feel like after Polly won that championship, what, the year I was born, was it the year I was 2002? They won a championship.
Sorry, 2003.
2003. I don't know anybody else. Maybe some other people won championships down here, maybe, but when you go up north, like those kids up there are so like praised, like they are the highest of the high, like, and that's why people are starting to send their kids up there, because they feel like that they're going to do better up there, they'll have more opportunity, which is true. But
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Why you say that?
I wouldn't necessarily agree to that. It works out for everyone that goes up there.
Maybe
because it hasn't.
Well, it has. Not everybody, but some people, I can say, if you got it and you send your kids up there, if your kids got it.
But even with the politics of that, I've heard of kids transferring out of the private schools because especially the Black kids. I've heard a lot about Caravel from people up north that I work with that had direct connections into that school, that the Black kids are not accepted. I have cousins that have went there, that sent their kids there and pulled them out because they were mistreated as Black kids. So again, just a little advice for everyone. Do your research when you are sending your kids to these private schools and paying them money, because some of these private schools are not really worth the money. They're just not. And if you want to really subject your kids to foolishness, then you'll send them there. But if you have a little bit of common sense, don't send them there. If you see anything that is off.
Well, yeah. So when you go up there, you're not gonna get any calls. It's definitely, those kids are just, they're the best. They're supposedly the best of the best, but nobody is really good. Like, I haven't seen, literally, when we go up there, you don't see a lot of Black kids. No way. Like, the teams be all white, and if literally the white girls,
one or two,
they shoot. That's all that they do. Like, even when we played paddlewood, like, it wasn't even that they were better than us. Like, they were just shooting, and we could have stayed in, but everybody was getting their feelings. Like, it was just that. And that's a whole nother thing, because kids need to control their emotions.
Absolutely. You have to manage your emotions. Learn that early.
Me, I know sometimes I can just get off. And one thing, if I'm fouling you, I'm a foul you. I don't
gosh.
Especially if I only got one foul or you don't know fouls, I'm definitely going out with a bang. I do not care.
I remember the times when we used to go out there with Holy Cross and you would get technicals and everything, and it just be like, JJ.
Oh my gosh. My 8th grade year, that's when I really like started just like, I was not playing. I got my first take, Milford. I'll never forget that.
I know, Jay.
It wasn't even that serious. Like, he just did the most.
But you are not that type of person in like off the court.
The ball. And that's what everybody said. I remember my teachers would be like, when basketball season came, I was just like a different person. Like, and that's what everybody says, like, on the court, you're just so different. Like, you're not. And I was just like, I just took it serious. Like, I don't play.
Yeah. Like, I can't give that to you, but you know, it has been a true joy to watch all of y'all girls play, even with my Torrance players, and watching y'all just grow into young ladies. I am extremely, if I hadn't said it 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, I'm definitely proud of all of y'all, because y'all are doing y'all's thing in your own lanes, and your confidence is up to par. I think all of y'all are going to school somewhere at some prestigious school. So I think that we've done really well with doing our part. But I want to get back to everything that we came on here for. So as I got the phone call last week about making a comment on Facebook, and we need to come together and help one another and all of that. The first thing for us to help one another is to be honest with one another, meaning that if we're going to work together, it can't be I talk about you, you talk about me, I stab you on your back, you stab me in my back, or you're jealous of my program, I'm jealous of your program, or I'm saying stuff about your program. Oh, well, what are they doing? They don't have an active AAU program or this or that. People are looking up information. It's just totally out of control. I need you to focus on your focus.
But if you have my number, call me.
If you have my number, call me. But if you don't, it shouldn't be none of your business. That means that you don't know me that well.
I understand that. I mean, honestly, I feel like just for the kids in general, just the kids that are coming up now, because like I said, the people that were, I wouldn't even say not y'all in particular, but our community basically failed us. Because if you look at it, like when you look at me, Jada, Jasmine, and Tanya, like none of us are playing anymore. Mm-hmm. Like we were able to fall out. We literally fell out of love with the game, like, because
no, but hold on, I have to say this, because I really did want to say this. It starts with parents, because we control the narrative. You can't start telling one kid that they're better, or that are two that they don't need the other two, or that we're going to go this way and oh, they're trash, you don't need them, we're going to go over here with this. And you create such an ego with the kids, and don't tell these kids that they are good before they have arrived. So you have to remain humble as a parent, and you have to be willing to work together if it's a common goal. That's how I feel with Jazz, Kai, Sky, that 2024 class. If they would have all came together, they could have been great for Lower Delaware. But because people feel like, oh, I'm number 30 on the list. Don't nobody care nothing about no list if you ain't winning no championships. Nobody cares. So, like, again, what do you want out of this basketball experience for your kids? Whether it's going to college, whether it's ego, whether it's being in the paper, whether it's being on TV, whatever. It shouldn't never be about the parent and their ego at all. It should be about the kid and what they truly want. Why are they playing? And I always say now, us parents, we want to boost about, oh, they made a team, and oh, let's celebrate. And I'm happy that they made a team, but do they know why they're playing? Because it's a big difference. Meaning, are they playing for you to get your attention, and because they want to be loved because they're playing a sport that you love, or do they really love it for themselves? Do they know why they're playing? Do they know why they want to go to college? Because it's a lot of college kids that don't know why they're at college other than their parents telling them to. You have to have these talks with these kids. And that's what gets me all up in a roar, be pissed off with people, because it's just like, y'all are so small-minded around here. You don't even think to go past UD or Del State. You don't even take them on college tours, which is another point I want to make, because somebody said something to me a couple of weeks ago about why would you take the kids on college tours, or why would you take them to college camps, exposure camps? Because they need to see a college campus in order to go to a college. Why do you think so many people are in the transfer portal? Because they never got to see the college. All they're doing is going to a dorm room and going to the gym. Yeah. They don't even know why they're there other than playing basketball. So yes, I have taken my Charms players to college camps and on college tours. Every time that we went on an AAU tournament, yeah, we were going to a college if I could make it happen. And people didn't understand it at that time. But now they partly understand it. There's a reason why I was doing stuff. When we were going over there to Howard, yeah, you may have been there, but other people did not see no Howard campus. It's to open your eyes to what's going on. It's much more to Del State and to UD and to Del Tech. Believe me, it's colleges that want y'all, but y'all have to want it for yourselves. And that's why I push for this one right here. to get out of the comfort zone and to get away from here, because a lot of y'all are small-minded and y'all control the narrative here. But when these kids get to adults, you're not going to get on the job that they want. You're still controlling the narrative. So let them live and let them do what they need to do. And this is why I go so hard. And people say, who is she? Why does she have so much to say? Believe me, when you know me, you know me. I'm the person that's probably writing your recommendation letters when you're lazy. I'm probably getting the phone calls when something happens. No, I am not a coach. Someone said that to me too. You don't have no say, so you're not a coach around here. But you call me all the time for my advice. I'm an unpaid therapist too. So that being said, come on, y'all. Let's get it together. Let's stop the BS. Either we're going to be real or we're not. But as far as this youth sports is concerned, let's get with it. Stop putting these kids last. Write recommendation letters immediately. Stop being lazy. If you want them to play on your team, they should be good enough to write those letters. They shouldn't even have to come to you. It should already be done. You don't even have to be educated to do it. Just write the letter. It doesn't take much. Word has a whole template. Come on, that's all I'm saying. I'm tired at this point of having the same conversation with folks about getting out of their comfort zone, being lazy, the small-mindedness. And then, like I said, if I have to hear about this stupid list again, about who should be on it, who shouldn't be on it. Oh, we're number 10, we're number 20. Who cares? Are y'all wanting to be number 1 in the state or number 1 in the country? What school are y'all going to? Have you even thought about going to schools? No, I'm telling you haven't, because your conversation is, I'm number 15 on the list. Who cares? Oh, I averaged 15 points. Have you taken a college or taken a child to a college to see the college? I'm pretty sure you haven't. But y'all will go on a tournament every weekend and never take no kids to a college campus. And you wonder why they're going down the street, because that's all they know. That's their comfort zone. Sorry for my rant, but y'all piss me off with this foolishness that y'all are doing.
Not a rant.
It's getting on my nerves. But go ahead, JJ.
Well, I most definitely believe. I think that everybody definitely needs to come together at the end of the day, because it's for the kids. It shouldn't be about the parents or about the coaches or about winning or about who has the most points and who's doing this and who's doing that. It shouldn't be about that. It should be, where are we going to get these kids? Because at the end of the day, like you said, mostly everybody thinks about just Del State, UD, Del Tech. Del Tech was not, but that
works for people.
If you don't broaden the horizons for the kids, like, they won't know. Nobody really knows. And I just feel like you said, with my mom taking me to different campuses and all of that, even just, she's been doing that before Charms, like
way before Charms.
Okay, maybe I do want to go here, maybe I want to go there, but I didn't really what should I say? College in Delaware just wasn't an option for me. Whether I was playing basketball or not. Like, I never wanted to stay. And when it got to that point where I was just like, when it got real, and I was like, okay, you know what? Do I really want to play or not? Like, what do I want to do? And I just decided, like, I'm going to just stop playing. Maybe that's what I just need to do. Just not play for a while. And then now I'm at the point where I do, in fact, miss basketball. Like, that's just where I'm at. So when I come home, I'm going to just help Holly out a little bit, just try and definitely, because I really don't know what I want to do at this point because there's so many different things that are calling my name. I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a judge, I want to be a coach, maybe I want to be a teacher or a counselor. Like it's so many different things that is racing through my mind, but it's just like what do I need to do? What is I probably could do it all if I really wanted to,
I was
but
gonna say the same thing. It's
I could, but we gonna see. But I definitely have this idea. I'm
Mhm.
trying to get it all together. So
Don't
hopefully
say
I'm not. I'm just saying I'm just
it.
all together for myself and trying to talk to different people. So hopefully I will get it done and hopefully you guys will see it really soon. It's definitely a really good idea.
Mhm.
Um, Nobody from where we are has probably tried to do it or
Yeah,
anything like that. So I'm definitely gonna be different and come home and do what I do.
absolutely.
And I just, I kind of want to speak on Nuki too because
I was getting ready to.
I, and my computer's getting ready to die too. So we gonna have to make it quick. But um my brother, sixth grade, boys are totally different.
Mhm.
And on the girls' side, we can talk about our problems and everything because that's where we were. My grandmother, she coached girls, she coached boys too, but she's more like on the girl side, I would say. Like she don't really worry about the boys, but and I will say shout out to all the boys that come up to me and be like, your grandmother is the reason that I was on the team.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I know.
Mhm.
But he did not make his school team. So and I understood his hurt or whatever. And I was just like, during that time, most of the time, and I know boys that I went to middle school with, they did not make it their sixth grade year. And they were devastated because basketball really meant something to them. So they went out, they did, and I really want Nuki to just work and I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna work with him because it's just like I don't want to put the pressure on him, but if that's what he wants to do, then I'm gonna really work with him because he deserves a chance to
Opportunity. Mhm.
like, and I like I said, he can't, and with me, I won't allow anybody up under me to feel like that because somebody said that you weren't good enough, that you're not good enough. So nobody's gonna, I'm not letting that happen to anybody else. I just can't. Like, and for him to just be so upset and just, it just really broke my heart because it's like, oh my gosh, like that's my brother. And
Yeah.
nobody is about to do that to him. I really don't care about nothing else. Y'all are not gonna hurt him in that way or try and make him feel, and y'all saying that he needs to be a man. How is a 11-year-old supposed to be a man? He barely even know what he wants to do with himself. And you talking about somebody being a man at 11 years old, and that tells me that you're not a man at
Mhm.
the age you are.
I think I think some people feel like that they can say whatever it is that they can say, but they don't understand. It lets me know that they are not equipped with experiencing our black boys right now, or our boys in general, meaning that they have so much going on, so many triggers for them. And for that particular trigger is, hey, there are some boys out here that don't have their fathers in their life for whatever reason, and that could be a trigger for them, whether they are not here anymore, whether they're making a choice not to be there, whether they're working all the time, whatever the case may be. Or they may not even know their dads. So with that being said, I think you had to be very careful with boys and girls too, because as we know, we've seen a lot of coaches around here mistreat kids. I wanted to touch on that too, but we have experienced that as well with men coaches and women's coaches. I mean, I've experienced getting the phone calls of being mistreated, like spit in the face and your bees and your whores and this and that, and it can be so detrimental on these kids and their mindset. Like if you are not in the right frame of mind as a coach, middle school, high school, whatever, Don't do it at all, because then you project that energy on top of those kids to second guess themselves.
Hold up. Let me just say this too, because I've, if you know me, you know I work at Walmart, so I see everybody. So when I in the store, coaches be looking at me crazy. And I'm just be like, first of all, I'm a kid. Like, why are you even stressing about me? Like that just shows how much of a threat I am to you and your program, whatever you want to like, whatever you're doing. I'm not, listen, and I said it, I really, if you're not on my mind every day, like I really will forget about your existence. Like I really don't care about people. So when that shows that you are thinking about me, you're trying to see where I'm at, what I'm doing, like don't don't treat no kids no kind of way just because they
That's
play opposing team or you, and
parents
talk
too.
about kids, parents too. Y'all be saying talking about kids and talking about other parents and saying all different kind of stuff. What do y'all be so mad for?
I don't
Truthfully.
get it. That's another thing that we didn't touch on, Jay. I can't hear you.
Please, like, ugh.
Like it's a little ridiculous, the stories that I have heard about, being at AAU tournaments and talking about the players on the court. And I need y'all to focus your energy on yourself. If you can't do that, then don't say nothing at all, because if you have never accomplished anything for yourself, especially y'all that never played basketball at all, that think y'all know everything, please shut up. Because I know some of y'all did not play in high school. And if you made the team, you didn't play. So please stop. Like, come on with
Oh,
it.
I hate that with a passion because it's just like y'all are, and that shows how much the parents have gone for themselves. And even I just don't understand. And it be the people from our area, like,
Listen, and sometimes it be family, because when we had separated from an AAU organization, I went through. I was ready to catch a case over that. You, every time we would go somewhere, I had a parent that would sit behind me and talk about me the entire time. And yes, because of my job, I can't do what I want to do. I can't. But
like the fact that people be so mad and they,
press.
like I said, I hate that. And I don't like talking about people. Like it's just not, I just gain this mental state where I'm just like, I don't care. But it's just like y'all sit and look how you look and just walk around how you walk around, really don't got no morals or nothing going for yourself, yet you want to sit and talk about somebody else that is put together or somebody else that got it like that. Y'all, honestly, people just be mad at the end of the day. Like,
Jay, you remember when we were coming from the AAU tournament over in Maryland, when that stuff happened, and
mhm,
and we were going from one gym to another, but they had acted a fool so bad. I put y'all in the car. I said, "Listen, we going home, because if I go to this next gym, what did I say? Y'all gonna have to call IMO, and she gonna have to come over here, and she gonna have to bail me out. But
it,
it's gonna create a whole situation. So let me just go on home, because it's not worth it. But I need y'all people to understand. Please stop talking about other people and just mind your business.
period. It just be the adults talking about the kids for me.
Yeah,
Why do y'all so pressed about kids? Like they are no threat to you. They're just going out there trying to play. That's all that they want to do. And you sitting here
and
talking.
hate for family too. Like, we've dealt with that as well. Like, if you want to play basketball, go ahead and play basketball. But don't let that simmer over into family business, because then it's going to create a situation. And we don't handle family business like that, not within the families that we deal with. We don't play that stuff. So I'm gonna need y'all to get it together. You got any type of hate, you might want to go to church and sit down on that floor and talk to Jesus about it. But yeah, let that hate go. It's very important. But other than that, I mean, I think we talked about everything. um you know y'all definitely need to get it together around here as far as the politics. Stop
That's
being on social media talking about this stuff and creating more drama. Because if you're not going to change the narrative, if you're not going to change your attitude, change your behavior, then it's still going to continue to go on. So yes, I use my platform right now to talk about this since you guys asked me to talk about it. And probably when you share it, you'll say, oh yeah, I know them. Yeah, the one with the braids. We both have braids. Yeah, she'll have hers back in and we'll
yeah,
get back to normal.
back in December.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it is what it is.
yeah, but definitely gonna be creating and just giving back because that's just
That's
what
what it boils down to, Jay.
that's what I just need to do. Like I'm so sick of just watching kids just
Mhm.
suffer because of politics and just because of parents and coaches and just it's just crazy. Like and that's what I
They don't even want to play because of their
end
experience
up
with their
not
coaches.
play. They end up hating basketball
Mhm.
because of what they've been through. Like, and I just hate that. And I hate that for my group. Like we really could have been something, and I just hate that for them. I mean, they definitely doing what they got to do now. Shout out to the girls because y'all are definitely doing what y'all got to do. I love that for y'all. We all are stepping out into adulthood, and it's really crazy because we all grew up together. But it's definitely a learning experience. I think that they'll even in the future just want to give back too because of what we all been through, and we can definitely just show like, hey, I know from experience
Yes,
you don't want to go down that path. Just do
absolutely.
what you need to do.
We definitely gonna implement this in future. You know, people talk about where this is going as an organization for charms. Believe me when I say it's always a plot and plan with me. This is bigger than basketball. Always has been bigger than basketball, and it was never about me. It was about generational wealth. Charms that will never stop with me. That's why I created it for kids within my family, kids similar to them, and it can always be passed on to them. That's where the maturity stands in and growth when you create generational wealth. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I
All
think we
right.
dang.
Well, next time, like I said, we're gonna continue this podcast, and we will talk to you soon. All right, guys. See y'all later.